While working on Crash Team Racing, Naughty Dog also started working on a new game for the upcoming PlayStation 2. After the release of Crash Team Racing, they put full emphasis on this new project. Since Sony agreed to purchase the company, Naughty Dog wanted to create a new IP for the upcoming console, given that Universal Interactive Studios held the right to the Crash Bandicoot series. Naughty Dog wanted to create a game where players can explore the world without any loading screens, creating a seamless open world. As inspiration, the team used games that had these 3D world environments, such as Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. When it came to designing the main character, Naughty Dog wanted to appeal to the American, European and Japanese markets, to appeal to as many players as possible, and thus Jak ended up with traits of Disney characters and Japanese anime and manga. Andy Gavin began developing the game using his own created programming language, Go. This however made it more difficult later down the line as more team members joined, who had a hard time understanding this puzzling code. Thanks to the more powerful hardware with the PlayStation 2, Naughty Dog was able to include the desired seamless loading with even more animations than was possible with Crash on the original PlayStation. They also aimed to create a game with no fog obscuring your view, which plenty of games did due to hardware limitations. This means that in Jak and Daxter you can see places you visit in the distance, making it feel like an actual world and making you feel much more immersed. After almost 3 years of development, the game was finally released in 2001 as Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy. Back when I was a kid I had heard of this series, but Ratchet & Clank always seemed more appealing to me. Also given that all of my friends were playing that instead of Jak and Daxter. That changes now, as I try out Jak and Daxter for the first time over 20 years after its initial release. Is it as good as the first Ratchet & Clank? Let's find out.
As with many of fate's mysteries, it begins with but a small act of disobedience.
The game follows the mute Jak and the more talkative Daxter, who go to the Forbidden Misty Island despite the Sage of Green Ego, Samos, warning them not to. There they see a mysterious duo ordering lurkers around. Jak and Daxter end up getting discovered by one of these lurkers, which ends with an explosion that sends Daxter into a pool of dark eco, which turns him into an odd soul. They manage to return back to Sandover Village, where they seek the help of Samos to revert Daxter back to his old self. Unfortunately, Samos is unable to help them, and only the Dark Sage Gol Acheron can reverse the transformation. Thus, Jak and Daxter decide to go to the north where Gol lives, at which point you as the player get to take control of Jak. As Jak you can perform basic attacks and do acrobatic leaps and rolls to traverse to the game's world. Naughty Dog did an excellent job in seemingly transitioning between animations, making Jak very satisfying to control, which is greatly appreciated in a platformer, though for some reason I had a hard time consistently pulling off double jumps, as it seems the window to do one is really short, though this could just be me or my non-responsive controller.
You couldn't find your way out of the village without training.
The world is filled with precursor orbs that you can collect, which can be exchanged with villagers and oracles for power cells. And occasionally you will find a power cell just lying in the environment. These power cells are needed to progress through the game, as Kira needs them to build or repair devices. Aside from these precursor orbs and power cells, you can also free locked up scout flies, which grant you more power cells upon freeing the 7th fly in an area. Collecting all of these is so much fun that I had no issue with trying to get them all. And in the end I managed to 100% complete the game and get the secret ending. And while that ending was kind of underwhelming, the process of collecting the orbs was anything but, and I had a great time trying to find them all. Naughty Dog managed to create a seamless open world where you can instantly hop between different hub locations without the need for loading screens. Each area is distinct with unique features and a distinctive atmosphere, resulting in some truly beautiful environments such as the Snowy Mountain and the Forbidden Jungle. There's also a day and night cycle that creates more visual treats, with beautiful sunrises and sunsets. The world of Jak and Daxter revolves around eco, of which there are 6 types. Green eco replenishes your health, blue eco increases your movement speed, red eco makes you hit harder, yellow eco allows you to shoot projectiles from your hands, dark eco acts as a hazard dealing damage to Jak, and at the end of the game you encounter light eco, which Jak uses to defeat the final boss. Aside from traversing the world on foot, you get access to Kira's A-Graph Zoomer to make your way across otherwise inaccessible areas like volcanoes. These sections serve as a nice deviation from the standard gameplay. You can also ride a flute to run faster and jump higher, reaching otherwise out of reach areas, though playing as Jak himself is way more fun. After some exploration, Jak and Daxter discovered that the blue, red and yellow sages have been abducted by the 2 mysterious figures that they saw on the Forbidden Misty Island, who turn out to be Gol and his sister Maya. The evil duo plans to use the power of the sages to extract the dark eco in their possession to transform the world to their liking. Kira informs Jak and Daxter that Samos has also been captured, at which point Gol and Maya begin to release the dark eco. Jak and Daxter manage to free all of the sages and take on Gol and Maya, who are controlling a giant machine. However, the duo is unable to deal the killing blow, but with the help of Samos, the blue, red and yellow sages, they combine their types of eco into one, creating light eco. With this light eco, Jak is able to destroy destroy the machine of Gol and Maya, who plunged to their presumed death. After this victory, the group puts their attention to the Precursor door, which you can open if you have collected 100 power cells. Opening the door will reveal a mysterious blinding light, leaving things open for a sequel.
Wow! What is it?
It's so beautiful.
By the Precursors.
While Jak can't talk, Daxter fills in this part as he talks a lot. And while some might find him annoying, I actually like this energetic Otso. The same goes for the other characters in the game, like Kira and Samos, who are not just one-dimensional, making for some great banter whenever Jak and Daxter encounter them.
That's right.
And Daxter, you finally took a much-needed bath, but in a bathtub filled with dark eco.
Look, old man, are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna help me out of this mess?
I'm gonna keep yapping, because in my professional opinion, the change is an improvement.
That being said, the plot itself is not memorable and just average. It does keep you motivated to complete the game, but if it wasn't for the great characters, the game's cutscenes would be underwhelming and boring to sit through. The game looks amazing. I especially like the snowy mountain, even more during a sunset. Characters aren't statically standing still, but are really well animated during cutscenes, making these a joy to watch. Luckily, there were also only a few occasions where the frame rate dipped, and the game was an otherwise seamless experience. The soundtrack was produced by Mutata Miska Studios, who also composed the Crash Bandicoot series, and this is really noticeable, as it feels like the PlayStation 2 version of the Crash Bandicoot soundtrack. Playing Jak and Daxter was a lot of fun. Collecting all of the orbs never became tedious or boring, which is exactly what a platformer with collectibles should do. Even though the story is forgettable, the characters make up for it with some well-directed and animated cutscenes, especially for the time. This makes it one of the most timeless PlayStation 2 games, which still holds up today and is a lot of fun to play.
Ah, who cares? Bring 'em on! We can take 'em again! Right, Jak? I said, right, Jak? Wow! Put it on ice, big guy!